Okay, you have one problem at the end here on the assignment. Okay. Actually, copy these answers down below. I want them down below. ML at 12%, then ML at 20%. Just copy those, get rid of them up here. I want the answers down on the left. Now, how do you do that one problem? Well, you're going to have to be patient here because I want to go over some review of what we learned so far about these systems grids. At a sporting goods store, you buy 10 basketballs and 4 footballs for $264.80. The footballs cost $1.45 more than the basketballs. Find how much each product cost. So you're spending the money on footballs and basketballs, so you need to make the systems grid. The XY table is not going to make any sense here. So we have together, and then the two things I'm buying are basketballs and footballs. Then of course with those two units together, we are finding how many units, or not finding, just label it how many units per unit in total. So dollars. Now I come up here. This needs to be filled out first. So I have two values here not related to cost. 10 basketballs and 4 footballs. So 10 basketballs, 4 footballs. Put them together and it's 14. So no equation there. Now after that's been filled out, we go down to the money total. And the money total is $264.80. So this will not be needed. Okay, now don't just put X and Y because you see you're ignoring the information that the footballs cost $1.45 more than basketballs. So that more means plus 1.45. And it says the footballs cost more, so you put plus 1.45 in for footballs. Now we don't need Y then. You should not be using a Y in this table. There's no need. These are my two answers, but since I know that this is $1.45 more, I just write both the unknowns in terms of X. Okay, so we take 10 times X, that's 10X. Guys, you need to multiply this correctly. You put that in parentheses and you multiply, okay? It's distributive property. 4 times X is 4X. And 4 times $1.45, not plus, times. 5.8. Okay, now you only have one equation, but that's all you need because you just have to solve for X for the first answer and then add $1.45 onto X. So 10X plus 4X plus 5.8 equals 264.80. Then you add the x's, that's 14x plus 5.8 equals 264.80. Then I minus the 5.8, and that's going to be 259 even, so 14x equals 259. Then I divide by 14 on both sides, and I get my answer. So 259 divided by 14 is 18.5. That's okay because I'm finding cost. So $18.50. So here's the X, 18.50, and that's your basketball cost. And then to find the footballs, how much they cost, you just take 18.50 plus $1.45. That's $19.95. Okay. You got to remember to put the plus $1.45 in the footballs because that's more. It goes whatever one it tells you is more. Okay, next one. A library is having a book sale to raise money. Hardcover books cost $4 each. Paperback books cost $2 each. A person buys 8 books. They spend a total of $26. How many hardcover and how many paperback books were purchased? So you're spending the money on hardcover and paperbacks at the same time. So together, and then you got hardcover and paperback. Then how many units per unit and total. Okay, so go up here and fill out the top row. So the only thing you see that's not cost related is the 8 books. So I assume that would be together. It's not more than. So we have to have this be x and y now. Now we need y. So x plus y equals 8. Okay, now I come down here. What's your total cost? $26. So this will not be needed because we have this and we have this. Okay, so the hardcover books cost $4 each, and the paperbacks cost $2 each. So x times 4 is 4x. The money total, you don't know how many hardcovers, but you know they cost $4, so you write that as 4x. And y times 2 is 2y. So there's your second equation. So we have this equation here, but we also have this one on top, so we stack those up together. So x plus y equals 8, 4x plus 2y equals 26. Now we utilize the elimination method with the two equations. So I multiply the top by 4 and the bottom by 1. So you have 4x plus 4y. Don't put equals 8. You have to take 4 times 8. That's 32. Now the bottom stays the same. 4x plus 2y equals 26. So negative, 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 0x, okay? 4 plus negative 2 is 2y. 32 plus negative 26 is 6. Now you divide each side by your 2, and y is equal to 3. So there's 3 paperbacks. Now, you can plug 3 into one of the equations, but if I know that this plus 3 is 8, I could just take 8 minus 3, and that's 5. Okay? 5 hardcover. Okay, next problem. Sports equipment store is having a sale on soccer balls. A soccer coach purchases 10 soccer balls and 2 bags for a total of $155. Another coach purchases 12 balls and 3 bags for a total of $189. Find the cost of a soccer ball and the cost of a bag. Okay, so you're spending the money on the balls and the bags. So you have together and then balls and bags. Then how many units, okay? Per unit and total. Okay, how many units? Well, I got a lot of those. 10 soccer balls, 2 bags, 12 balls, 3 bags. So 10 balls and 2 bags. Remember, it's 10 balls, 2 bags. And then there's another person that buys 12 balls and 3 bags. So that's 12 and that's 15. Okay, you got to read the problem. 10 balls, 2 bags. That's for the same person. 12 balls, 3 bags. Now there must be 2 totals then. Okay, and there is. There's 155 and 189. That is not needed. So that's the end of the information. We don't know anything about these, okay? I mean, I've used the 10, used the 2, 12, 3. I got my totals, so I just let this be x and this be y. So 10 times x is 10x, 12 times x is 12x, 2 times y is 2y, and 3y. Now stack those together. So 10x plus 2y equals 155. And then 12x plus 3y equals 189. Okay, now solve. Multiply by 12 in the top and 10 on the bottom. So it's going to give me 120x plus 24y. Then 12 times 155 is 1,860. And the bottom you have 120x plus 30y, and then 189 times 10 is 1,890. Okay, negative, negative, negative. That gives you 0x. Add these, you get negative 6y, and you add these. Don't forget the negative when you add. That's negative 30. Then you divide by negative 6, and y is equal to 5. So the bags cost $5. Yeah, a bag costs less than a ball, by the way. Now, you have to substitute that into one of the two equations. I'll just go the 10x plus the 2y equals 155. Then 5 replaces the y, and we have 2 times 5, so that's 10. So you have 10x plus 10 equals 155. Then I minus 10 and divide by 10. Minus 10 takes us to 145. Then you divide by 10, and that's 14.5. $14.50. Okay, then we talked about ratios. A teacher writes multiple choice and short answer questions in a ratio of 5 to 2. There are 28 questions on the test. How many multiple choice questions are there? How many short answer are there? So this is a ratio box. So you got ratio and actual. Now you're going to put your total, and they're talking about multiple choice and short answer, so MCSA. Don't put the not, that's on a fraction. Okay, so multiple choice to short answer, that's a ratio of 5 to 2. Now you add those and you get 7. Okay. Now the actual amount you have is 28 questions on the test, which is your total. So 7 times what's 28? Well, you can divide 28 by 7 to figure it out. It's 4. So 5 times 4 is 20, 2 times 4 is 8. So you have 20 for the multiple choice, 8 for the short answer. Now, let's get into the new type of problem. This will be the final type. You're going to read it first. You're going to be like, what the heck? But the setup is not hard. A scientist wants to make 6 milliliters of a 30% sulfuric acid solution. What that means on this picture, you need 6 milliliters in this container, okay? The white part's water, okay? Having 30% acid means 30% of this is acid, 70% is water. You don't see 70% in the problem. How did I get it? Well, what's 100% minus 30%? It's 70. 100 minus 30 is 70. This is what you need to end up with. There has to be 6 milliliters in this container, 30% acid, remaining 70% water. Water is the white part. The solution needs to be made from a combination of 20% sulfuric acid and 50% sulfuric acid. So we're making this, we're dumping these parts of these two containers. We don't know how many milliliters from each. We know they have to add to 6. This means 20% acid and the remaining 80% water. Again, 100 minus 20 is 80. Then this one right here, I don't know how many milliliters out of this. This is 50-50. Okay, as you can see, it's halfway, 50% acid, 50% water. Our job is to figure out how many milliliters from here, how many from here. That's the picture. Now, we're not going to draw that every problem. How many milliliters of each solution must be combined to make the 30% solution? So I need to know how many milliliters from here, how many from here. It's called a percent mixture. You're going to make the grid, but how you go about filling it out is a lot different than the units. Okay. Here's how you label the top. You're going to put low, high, middle. Okay, low, high, middle. And then down the rows, you're going to put percent. You're going to put units. Okay. And then you're going to put, not total. Don't put total down there. You're going to put product. Okay. Percent, units, per low, high, middle, percent, units, product. Not a lot of work. Now the percent, you take your lowest percent concentration, which is the 20%, but you need to make that into a decimal. You don't want to just put 20 there. Okay, so that's 0.20. Okay, high percent. Well, the high percent concentration is the 50%. That'd be 0.50, or yes, I'm well aware that's 0.2 and that's 0.5. Okay, if that's driving you nuts, it ain't going to matter, but you can just write 0.2, 0.5. Okay, I personally never dropped the 0, that's just me. Now the middle's the 30%. That's what you want to end up with, 30%. So 30%. So 0.30. Okay. Those are your percents. Now your units. Your units is ml. Well, the only ml you actually have is 6. Time out. So on the other problems, we filled out that row and then went down here. Don't go down here, okay? Don't go down here. It's not a total, okay? So the only thing you have for the milliliters is the 6 milliliters, and that's with the 30%. So you line that up with the 30, and we don't know these because that's where my answers are at. X plus Y. Now product, what does it mean to do on a product? It means to multiply. So you take 0.20 times X, it's 20% of X, which means you just write 0.20X. Plus 0.50 times Y is 0.50Y. And then you take 0.30 times 6, okay, times it. I'm not going to have patience if you're adding it. Product means you multiply. That's 1.8. And there's a second equation. So these are your two equations, and so these are my two. So I stack those. X plus Y equals 6. Then 0.20x plus 0.50y equals 1.8. This represents the total amount of milliliters. This part represents the part that's just the acid. 20% of this, 50% of this, and then 30% of 6 is 1.8. All right, now you multiply 0.20, 0.20, 0.20. So we use the grid, but it's totally different than the other ones. Know the procedure. See, on those first ones we went over, we filled out the top and then went down to the bottom right there. But I don't do that here. I fill out one row at a time. And then 0.20 times 6 is 1.2. Now the bottom just remains the same. Okay, columns, negative, negative, negative. So when I add the first two, I get 0x. Now watch how I do this. I don't need people trying to do it in their head, messing it up. You add the negative. Negative 0.3y. Then I add these, and that's negative 0.6. 1.2 plus negative 1.8, negative 0.6. Now you divide each side by negative 0.3, and the answer is 2. Okay, so we have 2 with the 50%. There's your answer, 2 milliliters. Now what plus 2 is 6? Well, 6 minus 2 is 4 last time I checked, so it would be 4. 4 and 2. Okay, next one. How many ounces of a 20% hydrochloric acid solution, a 70% hydrochloric acid solution need to be mixed to obtain 20 ounces of a 50% hydrochloric acid solution? Okay. So it's a percent mixture. You're using the grid, but you label it and fill it out completely different, okay? So, low, high, and middle. Then percent, units, and not total, okay? Not total. It's percent, units, product. Percent, units, product, okay? Now the percent, you just write the percents in decimal form. So the low percent's 20%, 0.20, or 0.2, I don't care. The high, that's 70%, because you're mixing the low with the high, 0.70. Then you don't add these, it's totally different. See, there's a middle percent. Okay, the middle percent's 50. Again, it's a totally different process than the units one. Okay. Now the units are in ounces this time. OZ. Well, the only thing I have is in ounces is 20 ounces, and that's with the 50%. So I put a 20, and then this is X plus this is Y equals 20. Okay, now to find your product, that just means you're multiplying 0.20x So you don't come down here and fill this out. That's the last box you filled out. It's not like the last couple days where I went here and then went down to here. No, okay? We go right in order. Plus 0.70y. And then you find what 50% times 20 is. It's 10, okay? You're timesing that. Not adding, not anything else. Product means you times. Okay. So we have our two equations. X plus y equals 20. It's a different table than what you've been using the last 2 days. Okay. Don't try filling out the same way. It won't work. You don't add these for one. That's not how this works. Number two, you don't jump down here. Okay, and number three, the labels are totally different. Okay, now, so we're going to multiply the top by 0.20 and the bottom by 1. So 0.20x plus 0.20y. 20 times 0.20, I think, is 4. Down below, you just sort of have the identity equation because you're just multiplying it by 1, okay? Okay, reverse that, and you're home free. As soon as you get the two equations, it's the same process. 0.20 plus negative 0.70 is negative 0.5y. 4 plus negative 10 is negative 6. Now divide by negative 0.5, and that's going to be 12, I think. So how many halves go into 6, okay? So 70% is 12, okay? Then to find the 20, you just take 20 minus 12, and that's 8. Okay, next problem. Farmer needs 24 gallons of milk. That's 20% butter fat. That's what needs to be in his end container, 24 gallons, 20%. If a farmer has a combination of two milks, one that's 24% butter fat, one that's 18% butter fat, how many gallons of each type of milk does he need? So again, it's a percent mixture. You're mixing percent concentrations. So you don't put together, this is a percent. You write low, high, middle, then our percent, our units, and not total product. Okay. So percent concentration, well, the low percent concentration is 18%. So 0.18. High, well, the high is 24%. 0.24. Now you're not adding these, okay, because you have them, yeah, it's not how this works, okay. Then what's the middle percent? Middle percent, see, I don't even label it the same. 20, so 0.20 or 0.2, whatever you want. Now the units should be the gallons. That's how these concentrations are expressed. And again, after I'm done here, I don't jump down to there. Okay, on the how many per unit in total I do, but this is not a total. Okay. Now 24 gallons with 20%. Okay. Then with these, I don't know how many gallons. X, Y, and I know X plus Y equals 20 then. Okay. Because the units have to add, or 24, excuse me. 24 gallons, okay? Now, find your products. It means you multiply, you multiply, you multiply. This is the last thing you find. 0.18x, 24% of y, and then 20% I actually need to multiply. That's going to give me 4.8, I think, okay? Yep. Okay, so I have my equations. X plus y equals 24. then 18% x plus 24% y equals 4.8. Again, this equation right here represents the overall number of gallons. This right here represents the number of gallons that are the milk, the butter fat. Okay, so times 0.18 and times 1. So the top 0.18x plus 0.18y. 0.18 times 24 gives me 4.32. And then in the bottom we have 0.18x plus 0.24y equals 4.8. Negative, negative, negative. 0x. Add those, you get negative. See, watch when I add them. 0.18 plus negative 0.24, negative 0.06y. Then I add these, 4.32 plus negative 4.8, negative 0.48. Then I divide by negative by the full decimal with the negative, and you end up with 8. Okay, so we have 8 of 24%. I screwed up the labels on this one. This shouldn't say 20, it should say 24%. That's my fault. 8, 24%, and 24 minus 8 is 16. Okay, and then the last one. You have one problem to do. Should be able to handle it. For extremely cold temperatures, you need a combination of 100% antifreeze solution and 50% antifreeze solution. You need 11 quarts of 70% antifreeze solution. How many quarts of each solution, the 100 and the 50, do we need? God darn it, I screwed it up again. This should say 50%. Okay. I don't think I did on this one. Nope, I didn't. I got that one right. Okay, so again, you don't put together. You put low, high, middle. You got to. Then down here, you got your percent, you got your units, you got your product. So the low percent concentration is 50. Be 0.50. You got to put it in a decimal form. Now the high is 100%. Now 100% is just 1. Okay, you don't need to put 0.00. And the middle would be 0.70. Now the units are in quarts. Okay, I have 11 quarts with 70%, but I don't know these, so it's x, y, and that's an equation. X plus y equals 11. Now your product means you just multiply 0.50x plus 1y, and then you're timesing those. You're finding 70% of 11 is what you're doing. 0.70 times 11 is 7.7. Okay, so we have x plus y equals 11. That's my first equation. And my second one is the percent one. 0.50x or 5x plus 1y equals 7.7. Now I don't need to multiply here because if I made the bottom negative, then the y's would drop out and y is eliminated. So 1 plus negative 0.50 is 0.5x. 11 plus negative 7.7 is 3.3. So divide each side by your 0.5. That's going to be 6.6. So now you're looking at the x, so it's 6.6 at the 50%, 6.6 quarts. Then 11 minus 6.6 is going to be 4.4. Okay.